Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you, and today I'm going to talk about my experiences with Anadrol. But before we get into that, just a big shout out and thank you to everybody out there supporting the channel. I cannot thank you enough. The likes, the subs, the shares, it means so much to me and it really helps the channel. If you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever you can do, spread the word. It truly helps the channel to grow and allows me to produce more and more content for you each and every day. Now, today's video is sponsored by letsgetchecked.com. Now, letsgetchecked.com specializes in at-home blood testing. They are the elite when it comes to at-home blood testing. All you have to do is go to the website, letsgetchecked.com. Check for my link in the description below. Use my coupon code Gemelli30 to save 25% off. Go pick out the test that you want. They do it all for male and female. They do wellness, hormonal, sexual health, COVID testing. They do everything. Pick out what you want. They're going to ship it to you. You're going to register the test. You're going to provide the sample, send it back. You're going to get results quickly. This is all discreet and easy. And then after that, you get the results back. You've got doctors and nurses there to help you and answer questions. So check them out. Letsgetchecked.com. Gemelli30 will save you 25% off. So let's talk about my experiences with Anadrol. So I think me even talking about an experience with a bulking compound probably sounds a little off to some because it's just not something I do. It's just very rare. If you want to see what kind of results and experiences that I had, like detailed, I mean the whole real deal, type in Dylan Gemelli Mega Recomp. It's going to kick you back to, I think, 2016. This was the cycle that I ran when I decided to like really kind of bulk for me. You know, I normally walk around now about 175. I used to constantly kind of just normal walk around about 185. I don't like being over 200 pounds, but that particular cycle, when I started it, I think I was about 178. I'd have to go back at the log and look. It was like 176, 178. By the time I was done, I was about just a skosh under 210. And for me, that is, I mean, and I have pictures of it, it just doesn't even look right. But this was the Anadrol cycle, which it was a big part of it. So that was a big ass cycle. I'm not going to lie. It was something that the results on there, you can go read. I'm just going to kind of let that speak for itself. And I kept that weight for a long time until I decided I didn't like being that size anymore. So, and part of that is admittedly I walk around probably under where I should be, but that's from all now at this point, it's from the stress and strain of working constantly and never taking a break and being under constant shit daily. Plus I'm in the middle of getting my master's degree. It just never ends. And the stress levels get quite high, and I don't eat a lot, and you guys already know how much I run, but generally I used to walk around about $185, and I was very happy and comfortable. They're decent size, nothing spectacular, don't want to be, never comfortable that way, but pretty, put together, and, I'm 40 years old now, and it's just, I'm not taking running cycles really aside from TRT and occasionally Anavar. Otherwise SARMs, but more so like GW to help with my running, or SR 9009, and not a lot of anything else. So, but that's where I'm at. But anyway, at that time, the results with Anadrol were absolutely unreal. And the thing about it is I tolerated it so well. I didn't have like all of this toxicity that I expected because I've had every oral I run, I just run them and I just feel like shit after like 4 weeks. Now, the results I get off them are so good, you would continuously do them. But it would get to that point. And I was running Anadrol with Tren here. And now this was a longer ester of Tren. So, the first few weeks, you're definitely not even there yet. But I feel like the Tren, because I stopped the Anadrol after about 5 weeks. And the way that the Tren came in and and I stayed pretty damn dry on Anadrol as it was, and then what the Tren did with it after was just something else. But the strength that I was getting from Anadrol and that sheer size so fast, and for somebody that's so estrogen prone, I wasn't getting that wet side effect that Anadrol could potentially do, but it's not converting to estrogen either. So for whatever the reason, just so dry, and a lot of that obviously has to do with my diet and cardio. And I had obviously enhanced the calories much higher. I mean, it's damn near double what I eat now, but the calories that I was taking in were up. It was such a clean and well done diet, just down to the T, And my strength, I really got up to, for me, this is insanely high. For somebody that's kind of just normally stuck at 225 for 10 on a bench, I know that at that time, I believe if you go look at the log, it was 270 or 275. I was whipping out for 10s. And so to me, that was a whole nother realm, and it was crazy. And the things I was able to shoulder press, for example, and I had videos that were taken down, pressing the weights I was pressing. I mean, Anadrol did things to me I did not know possible, really. And that's from me coaching all these years, being around it all these years, and running so many different things, but never. And obviously the changes I made, the direction I went, and me wrapping my head around it was okay to be that size, and I would be comfortable, and I just don't like it. I feel too heavy. And potentially that's because I was a receiver at football, I was a guard in basketball, and I like to be a certain light so I can go do those things. I'm a tennis player, and my clothes, the way they fit and that I wear them, and the style, I think it's just everything. I'm just not comfortable at that weight. And to each their own, man. But that, I felt great at that time. I was feeling great, looking great, and going back and look at those pictures, I'm like, well, you did look pretty good, but I just wasn't there mentally, and I can't be. I like to be a certain size, and I'm under where I normally am now, but generally speaking, But Anadrol, for me, phenomenal. Now, my blood pressure stayed very nice on there. My liver enzymes were elevated, but the problem is with the tren, you can get false estrogenic readings too. So anyway, liver was elevated for sure, even with protection I was taking. So that's one thing that I did experience with it. But some people get terrible blood pressure. They'll get bad headaches. Feel super, super lethargic after a couple weeks. I didn't go through any of these, and I ran it multiple times. And I never had those issues. I ran it twice, and both times it was just such a damn good experience. But some people can't take it. And now, mind you, too, I was easing into it 50 milligrams, 25 milligrams before I ever even considered going up to 100. And that was generally the last week, I believe, if I remember right. I wasn't running 100 milligrams very long, but I did it towards the end, both times. And that worked out very well for me. You got to remember with Anadrol, you don't want to run it too long. You don't want to run it too high. Most people only go 4 weeks. I stretched it to 5. And I tolerated it extremely well. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it. But I would ease into it, and you can potentially get a ton out of it. Remember, it's still a DHT compound. Now, mind you, it's altered a little differently. I did the whole video on the mystery and the myth behind the estrogenic side effects, but it's still a DHT. It still can be very dry. A lot of competitors do this and get away with it and utilize it to their advantage in competitions to really, add it on and stay dry. There's potential there. So it depends on a lot. Everybody's different how they react. It depends on what else you're running with it, how your diet is. There's a multitude of things to consider. But trust me, it has the potential to be very dry, and that's scary with something that can add that much size and strength. I mean, it's scary in a good way. The potential's there. It's just not for everybody. So, and none of this is for everybody. And just because Dylan did it some way, or so-and-so did it, or this person that did this video told you this and that does not in any way mean that you're going to have the same experience. We got to understand that. Experiences are great because you can kind of go off that and maybe potentially think about what to expect. You got to be well understood enough and well trained enough to understand there's such a difference in each person and their responses. You have to understand that, or you're going to think everybody's full of shit. And really, people like me, I'm trying to be open with you about it. Here's the experiences, but there's potential for something else. That's all I can say, because that's the honest truth. I can give you what generally occurs, but general is not like a 90% to 10. There's all over the place. So just understand that. But I try to give the best experience possible in terms of relaying and conveying, the total experience in general, and being impartial all the way around best I can. I have my partialities toward Primaville and Anavar, things like that, but I still try to just break it down and give it to you like it is. So that being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.